everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sinisha and this is PeepSo Feature Highlights. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the videos that have been hosted locally or on your own web server. In some of the previous episodes, we already explained how you can offload your videos or uploaded files to the Amazon services. But in this case, we are going to talk about videos that have been uploaded on your website and hosted on your website. There is a lot to talk about, there is a lot to cover, and there will be a lot of disclaimers in this video. So let's get started with it. As you may have guessed it already, I'm gonna start this video with the disclaimers. First of all, you'll need the access to FFMPEG, and this is the piece of software that gets installed on the computer or server that is hosting your website. Right now, I'm hosting this website on my local computer on Windows, but for your hosting, you will need to contact your hosting support and ask them if they support FFmpeg. Be advised, however, shared hosting will most likely never give you the option to access the FFmpeg, because this particular software is very resource intensive and you will need at least VPS or virtual private server or dedicated server in order to actually install this FFmpeg. If you do have strong enough server, you can download the FFmpeg from this site over here. I'm gonna link it in the description below. Okay, you can come here and download the latest source code or the package for your Linux flavor. If you don't know how to do this, ask your hosting support to do it for you. They will have to do it. But when you ask them to install FFmpeg, tell them not to install from the repositories of the respective operating system that is currently installed on your hosting, but to come here and download the source code from here and then compile it on your server, because this is ensure that you always have the latest version of the FFmpeg. And this is particularly important because PeepSo requires the version 4 of the FFmpeg, but hosting, if they do not download it from here, they will mostly install the version 3 of FFmpeg, which is not supported. The next requirement for video uploads to work is the cron job. And we already have the entire dedicated episode how to set up the cron jobs on your server. I'm going to link it in the description below, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use the cron jobs manually. I'm going to trigger them manually by simply visiting the link they are supposed to trigger on your website, like this. You see, there is nothing to convert right now on my website, but I did trigger the cron job. If you're interested to know how cron jobs work, like I said, we have the entire episode dedicated to cron jobs, and you can find it in the description below. And one final disclaimer, I promise this one will be the last, is that sometimes when you set up the FFmpeg on Windows machine, like I'm doing it right here, it may throw some false positive errors over here. It's not actually an error. I don't know how to fix this because Windows is not really friendly towards the software built for Linux, and it's hard to configure it. But this error should not be showing on the Linux website. As you can see here, I do have the latest version of the FFmpeg, which is version 4433. And at the time of the recording, this was the latest version of the FFmpeg, but for some reason, my Windows host or my Windows software does not recognize it as a latest version. It will still work. This is just a false positive report that for whatever reason appears to be out of date, but it's not. It's the latest version, and if you see this on your website, you can work with it as long as your FFmpeg is the version 4 point something. It's important to be version 4. It doesn't matter what comes after it. It cannot be version 3, okay? FFprobe is not required, but it gets installed with FFmpeg. I didn't mention it, but it's a software that gets installed as soon as you install FFmpeg. With that out of the way, let's now summarize everything that is required. First of all, you will need a powerful server. If you're hosting on a shared server, you can say goodbye to this feature because it will not work. You will not meet the requirements. You will need at least VPS or, in best possible case, dedicated server with a lot of storage space to store all of the uploaded videos, especially if you enable big file uploads. So you will need a cron job that runs the conversion trigger. And finally, you will need the FFmpeg. And I cannot stress enough that FFmpeg is not a WordPress plugin. It's a software that gets installed on your server, and you need to contact your hosting support to install it for you if you don't know how to do it yourself. Let's finally move on to the configuration. And you will find all of the configuration here in PeepSo configuration. And when audio and video plugin is installed, you will see the videos over here in the configuration. Okay, click on it, and we will spend most of the time in this configuration right now. As it is the case with almost every PeepSo configuration, this one is also divided into left-hand side and right-hand side. And on the right-hand side, you only have information about the server and what it's needed, okay? So you can even disable this technical requirements verification if you don't want to see these technical requirements anymore. You can save the settings and disable displaying of those requirements. I will have to refresh the page because my caching is still going to show them. But yeah, after I refresh the page, you see now it's not showing the technical requirements. Anyway, from the right-hand side, you will find all of the important things that you need and that we already discussed. All of the settings, actual settings, are at the left-hand side over here. Okay, and this will probably be disabled by default when you first time install audio and video plugin. Let's quickly save those settings and pretend that this is the first time that we actually open this videos configuration. So the first thing you need to enable is video uploads. Okay, it cannot work if this is not enabled. And here in the limits, you can set what's the maximum video upload size. My WordPress limit is 2 GB, but I can lower that down to, let's say, 20 megabytes. I'm gonna increase it to 300 megabytes. And allowed space per user for video, if you leave it 0, user will have no limit for the amount of megabytes they can upload at your website. If you limit this to whatever number, let's say 3000, user will be only able to upload approximately 3 GB, okay? And now in the advanced option, you must choose the conversion with FFmpeg. You can choose the no conversion by default. This is the default setting, but for the purposes of this video, we need conversions with FFmpeg because no conversion will only work for MP4, MOV, and maybe few more formats, but not all will be displayed in the browsers. If you want all of the videos to be converted to the proper format, you will need to use conversion with FFmpeg, And this is the subject of the video after all. In our previous videos, we already covered the AWS Elastic Transcoder, and I will link that video in the description below if you want to watch it. Moving on, conversions with FFmpeg options. Path to the FFmpeg binary is going to be a path where you install the binary of the FFmpeg. If you don't know what's the path, ask your hosting provider and they will provide it for you. I installed it in this location on my local machine, so I just linked it to that exact location. Extra parameters are not needed. If you're an advanced FFmpeg user, you can add the extra parameters here, but they are not required. You can choose the output resolution of the videos that are going to be converted on the site, and let's increase it to full HD. You can increase it to 4K, but be very careful because the higher resolution, the more space you will need. Upscaling of the video is done with the FFProbe. I didn't mention installing FFProbe because it gets installed immediately after you install the FFmpeg. It gets installed together with the FFmpeg. And similarly to path to FFmpeg binary, you can add the path to the FFProbe binary. If you're wondering what the FFProbe will do, let me explain. It is required for upscaling the videos. For example, if you choose the output resolution of 1080p, but you upload the video that is in lower resolution than the output, then the video itself will not be scaled because you will lose in the quality of the video. Okay, the lower resolution or the original resolution will be preferred. If you upload the bigger file than 1080p, then the upscaling will be respected. Okay, so it can save some space if people try to upload 4K videos, but you prefer the output resolution to be in the lower resolution. And last but not the least, delete the original file after conversion. When conversion is done, you can choose to delete the originally uploaded file. Okay, let's save those settings and check the thumbnails and previews. You can generate poster videos, generate animated GIF, and you can choose the output format for the thumbnail of the video. It doesn't matter much what you choose here, but these two options are important. If you disable or enable this, let's say if we disable it, then the thumbnail will not be generated. It will only be a black background with a play button on it. Animated GIF, you can enable this to create a few frames that will animate when you hover cursor over the video. Okay, so let's save those settings and finally go to the front end to see how will this work on our website. Once on the front end, you will expand the post box, choose the video post type. And why is this still 20 megabytes? Did I save it properly? Maybe it's caching. So let me try to hard refresh this page. Switch to video. Okay, and now it's 300 megabytes. I'm sorry, I do have some caching happening in the background and I don't know why. But if you experience the same thing, just hard refresh the page with Control R if you're on Windows or Linux, or Command R on Mac operating systems, and the cache will be, in most cases, purged. Okay, so upload, maximum file size upload is 300 megabytes. So let's try and upload the video. I have some videos prepared over here, and I'm gonna deliberately use the bigger video, which is 28 megabytes. Okay, I have some small videos which are 1 megabyte, I think. Yep, but I'm gonna use this, which is 28 megabytes. Open that. Give it a title. Let's say my awesome video. You can add the description of the video. And now when I click on the post, pay close attention at this area over here, right under the post box. There will briefly be a message that is going to disappear automatically. Okay, are you ready? Let's post this, and this is the message that is soon going to disappear, but basically it's just saying that your video is uploaded and is being converted. It should be available in a few minutes. However, this is not necessarily true, especially not in my setup, because there is no cron job that is going to trigger the conversion. And you can see that if you go into your WordPress dashboard, then PeepSo queues, and in queues, switch to video uploads, where you can find the video that we just uploaded, and it's in waiting status. This waiting status simply means that the video is waiting to be processed, is actually waiting for a cron job to trigger the conversion. Because I am here on the Windows machine, I cannot use cron jobs, so I must trigger them manually, and I'm gonna do that right now by visiting this PeepSo Convert Videos event. And when I do, notice how long will it take for the page to actually load, because right now my video is actually being converted through the FFMPEG. I deliberately took 28 megabytes video to show you how long this will take. And this is no, my computer is kind of powerful one. It's a 10th generation i7 with 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it still takes this long for conversion to actually complete. Imagine how stressful that will be on your server. And once the conversion is done and complete, if you trigger the cron job manually, you will see this message that will show all the information about the video. But if you run the cron jobs automatically, you will never see this. What's important for us is to go back to our website and see what actually happened to the video. Let's open the website. Come on. Now it's saying it has now converted. That is very good, because if we go to PeepSo and then queues and see the video uploads, we can see that status is now a success. And true enough, if we visit our community, we will see that the video is now ready to be played. And there is even a notification saying that your video is ready. Okay, and if you click on this notification, it will take you to the video itself. And you can click on play and play the video. And that is all you need to know about video uploads. I hope the settings and setup itself is not too convoluted for you. If it is, you can still ask your hosting support to set most of the configuration for it on the server for you. After all, 95% of the configuration for the video uploads is server related, installing a proper software on the proper location. And If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification icon to be notified whenever new video comes out. We publish new content every week and then publish that content on social media as well. You can find all the relevant links in the description below and follow us there as well. Until the next video, I wish you all the best. Bye!